Previously on Hive, her body went limp. Within seconds, the woman's eyes opened. They had changed from brown to green. She had been taken. The Hive had cultivated a way to steal a body within seconds. Chapter 10. The Shore. When they escaped the facility and returned to the fields, Alex discovered the small stalks had sprouted to a harvestable length, the origin of their food source. Alex's initial reaction to the near impossibility was to accept it. He went to find Reese, discovering that he had wandered elsewhere, forcing him to return to the compound. The composition of the area had been flipped. The tables were decorated with the spilling of alcohol and leftover food. The celebration that had ended last night failed as loyalists were in a state of grief. The Hive corpses remained untouched. The loyalists simmered in mourning. It was undeserved, as loyalist soldiers had many similarities to those within Zone 6, and just happened to fight for the wrong side. The state of the children varied. Some barely held on to life, some were healthy. Those who were dead remained in the trembling hands of their mothers. They died the same way that the Hive bodies scattered around had, a corpse without blood and an abundance of hard gray. "You were supposed to protect us," Raina claimed directly to Alex. She cradled an infant daughter, both of them sharing the same black hair and dimples. Alex felt guilty that he had never asked if she had other children. "I will," Alex promised. "That doesn't mean anything. My daughter is dead," she screamed. Alex wanted to strike her, but stopped himself. She had already suffered enough. Alex, along with Takeo, sat on a rock and ignored his need for nourishment. Reese and Patton approached him together. Patton's smile was gone. The essence of trauma crossed his somber eyes. "Alcohol is terrible," Patton informed. "Good in medium doses," Reese countered. "I'm never having it again." "Then you're one of the lucky ones." "Where's David?" Alex asked Reese. "You missed a wing, didn't you? This one slow you down?" Reese joked, tapping Takeo's shoulder. "Act somber," Alex redirected. "We don't have a reason to. We won today," Takeo said, pointing to the distance. David walked towards them with a small group behind him. His exhausted eyes wandered. Within a few days, he had lost weight and gained enough facial hair to represent a beard's shadow. "David," Alex shouted, waving his arms. David, the final member of their original squad, approached. "Now we can finally get out of here," Reese said. "You didn't save me," David said. "We couldn't. The Hive was around the entire island." "Did you complete a perimeter check?" "It couldn't be done. Where's Lonnie?" Takeo cut in. "He escaped a while ago." The sting of betrayal wedged into Alex's thoughts. "How?" Alex questioned with great interest. "There was no perimeter on my side of the island," David answered. "Everybody, come to the beach." A repeated shout bellowed from loyalists, inspiring those who were still to begin their movement, dwindling the amount of people within the compound. "Now we should go," Takeo said. "What about Gianna?" Patton asked. "There's plenty just like her." It became clear that the beach was the expected destination for all loyalists, as they were approached by a group of loyalists with great firepower, inquiring as to why they had not moved yet. "Where did you pick for the tattoo?" Alex asked David in an attempt to make conversation. "I was never offered." "Thank God, you're going to regret the forehead," Reese said to Takeo, laughing. "Maybe," Takeo answered. Alex scanned the environment twice before repeating a previous question. "What did you do in the facility?" "I was a test subject," Reese answered. "It was his composition. He had a body full of substances. Meant he could take some more," David explained. "Have you seen what it can do with its blood now?" "It used some of my blood to make it," Reese claimed. "I did whatever I could to slow production while simultaneously making it seem like progress was being made. But we could not keep it up forever. To survive, we almost perfected it. It still remains submissive to EMPs. If we are able to get our hands on one, events could turn in our favor," David said. "You gave one to Reese," Alex reminded him. "Firstly, that was not an EMP. If he was going to be sacrificed, it would happen in front of loyalists. When my device worked, I thought that it would end in my rescue, but we were fine with saving ourselves." When they arrived at the beach, the next actions of the loyalists were unclear. They lacked leadership to give them purpose. Alex decided to give them some. "You have all lost something you love." Alex projected his voice without the guidance of technology or a social structure that put him in a position of status. "It is not the fault of anybody here or present." Alex almost ceased speaking when he realized he had said the same statement twice, but he continued quickly after. We share the same pain. We were given a glimpse of the Hive's greatness. It deserves a proper burial. Then we will get revenge against whoever caused this." Some heads nodded while tears were wiped away. Others stared forth with suspicion, regardless of opinion. Unmarked graves were formed. They were dug with the use of shovels made by stripped materials from the boats, both metal and wood working towards a common goal. Completing the task stole the day. Alex was drenched in sweat and his hands swelled with calluses. While his body was tortured, his mind worked towards preparing convincing words to push the Loyalists off the island. He traded glances with his team at various points. It did not bother him as an explanation would be provided, but it just had to wait. Once the bodies had been buried, Reyna was the first to pay respects. He was the same to all of us. The rest of the world won't understand. He gave us hope. He did it all for the good of the world. She bit her lip, her eyes streaked with tears. Now that's all going to change? It won't change, Alex said. Thank you, Alexander, for your leadership in the burial, a loyalist interrupted. I am Nero, and it's good to know that even a man from the collective can change. Now that our master is gone, many of you are asking what to do. I have heard horrid suggestions of abandoning the home the Hive had created for us. We should turn it to the people, see what most people want, Alex suggested, treading his words carefully. What is it that you want? To go back to the collective? You have been plotting, staying away from our group, only speaking to each other. People will want different things. I am taking over. Was that responsibility given to you by the Hive? Your time is over. Nero's right, Reyna stated. We have been betrayed by too many spies before. I gave my loyalty, Takeo spat, pointing to the W on his forehead. Speaking out of turn without being told to, that is bold, Nero accused. We should communicate with other loyalist branches. Through them, we will see what the Hive wants to do with us, Alex proposed. You're trying to... Where should we contact? Alex asked. The other loyalists need to know what happened here. They need to know that the Hive is sick. Sick? Nero asked. This was done because of an attack to one of our beloved hubs. It is simply a theory cultivated because of its dwindling presence. If it is in a weakened state, we must do whatever we can to aid it, David said. None of you should trust this man. Nero's sway over the others had slipped. Heads did not nod to his statement. He helped us build these graves, a loyalist within the crowd brought up. This is between them, Reyna claimed. You're standing with Nero? Alex asked, and I stand with our master. Then you would know that suspicion should not be directed towards us. I am the one who aided in amplifying the power in the Hive's blood. You watched it. I choose to make a difference within all of our lives. I am not your enemy. Neither are those I came with, David said with a heap of false anger. I may have misjudged you, but the people you came with cannot be trusted. Then you will have to kill me, Nero, Takeo said, dropping his weapons. A duel, only with our fists. That is not how we conduct ourselves, Reyna said. I am the Hive's right hand. I deserve to be next in line, and you are all considering... It doesn't need a right-hand man, it has thousands of left hands, too. You weren't picked for anything, and you're getting emotional because of it, Reese mocked. You're all going to listen to this? Nero raged. They say collective fighters are the greatest in the world. I will show you what a real soldier looks like. The collective is weak. See, too emotional. Yeah, go cry or something, Patton called. Is this for some kind of collective honor? Reese asked. For mine, Takeo revealed. Alex patted Takeo's back in encouragement, for if Nero was defeated, he would be cast down from leadership candidacy. As the gap between the opponents closed, Nero hurled insults. I'll bury you. Takeo remained silent. His pace was steady, Nero's quickened. Who will join me? Nero asked. The indecisive loyalists remained torn by the presented opportunity. It became clear that the victor would receive the gift of their malleable minds. Cowards, Nero accused. He broke his walk and transitioned into a sprint. Takeo's reaction opposed it. He cemented himself in a still position. His right hand gripped a handful of sand, and once Nero was close enough, Takeo pitched the grains into his unsuspecting eyes. Nero swatted it away, but the smokescreen managed to make a disturbance within his path. It gave Takeo the opportunity to hit Nero with a right strike to his jaw, then a left. In the aftermath, Nero grasped Takeo's shirt collar and spurned him into the ground. Alex took a step forward, wanting to help Takeo. He was stopped when David gripped his shoulder. They'll need to see how he is on his own. In Takeo's struggle to break free, he landed 3 strikes against Nero's ribs, none of which stopped Nero's body from pressing against Takeo, paired with mocking words. This is what the collective is. They're weak and... Nero's enthralling speech was interrupted as Takeo brought his head upward. The expected clashing of their foreheads never came as Takeo soared past Nero's hairline and sunk his jagged teeth into the enemy's ears. Nero screamed as his body shifted, releasing pressure, allowing Takeo to push the body off, stand up, and back away. "Look at him running away," Nero claimed. Takeo bent downward, his hand reached into the material below. "Sand won't work again?" Takeo stood. From the sands he had withdrawn a stick so large that it took both of his hands to handle it. Born from the earth, the stick was crude in nature, for it contained various small dents and twigs that detracted from its frame. Takeo used it to garner a direct strike against Nero's upper torso. He followed with a spiteful jab towards his stomach, which was caught halfway through its destination. The duo struggled for control until the wood broke in 2 parts. Both men slipped backwards, refusing to fall, and picked up one end of the fractured pieces and threateningly raised their crude swords. Takeo rushed forward. He jumped and struck below. The 2 pieces clashed, and the crack from the conflict orchestrated across the quiet battlefield, showcasing the power that lay within their strikes. The wood was detracted first by Nero. He slid backward, leaving Takeo stumbling forward awkwardly. Nero used the opportunity to land 2 successive strikes against Takeo's back. Takeo cried out in pain from the first, unsuccessfully tried to dodge the second, and stopped the third by landing a hit against Nero's lower stomach. And the next assault from both men had their swords meeting each other once again. Both snapped in 2. Their shortened weapons ended up the size of a dagger. Nero charged. Takeo stabbed the wood into his right eye. It forced him to the ground. Blood burst from the impact. He lost the will to fight, opting to squirm in torturous pain from the injury. "We will continue the Hive's legacy," Takeo falsely claimed. The people looked to him with approval. They had chosen who deserved the respect. Alex walked forward, ensuring that he received the same praise as he took control of his new subordinates. "Nah, if you stand with anybody but us, this is what you'll become." Takeo's hands pointed to Nero. He bathed within the sand. His blood produced dotted markings within the material. "They're liars," Nero shouted. "Takeo and I trained together. We can teach you how to be like us," Alex offered. "Powerful, unable to be stopped, but if anybody here thinks that they can do a better job than us, then step forward." A few faces within the crowd appeared to be in consideration. Alex kicked Nero upward to turn their minds. The blood that left his eyes was such a grotesque image that nobody stepped forward. "We will bring glory to this island. The Hive's strength lives in all of us. Our enemies will be crushed. If anybody ever comes to our shore with evil intentions, they will regret the decision," Alex claimed. Using fear had gained their attention, but for him to leave an everlasting impression, they would need confidence that he was there to help them, an idea that was entrenched in lies. Alex was bombarded by questions from his new followers, curious as to what roles they should be designated. He dispersed the loyalists and the remaining children, giving them tasks tailored to their presented skills. Those with a passion for battle acted as watchmen for the island alongside Patton. Others were sent to cultivate meals from the genetically modified fields. Reese was allowed the privilege of relaxation. Raina stood by Alex, watching his every move, backing his decisions every time there was protest. When all was done, Alex spoke to David while he walked towards the facility. "How long until we depart?" David asked. "We're in a tight spot. If we leave right away, it will only make Nero's accusations look true. They'll kill us. If we can guide for a short while, then I will have their trust." "And what happens after that?" "Get these people to a better place, find the boats, then..." Alex was lost. Zone 6 was gone. Zone 5 was far away, and the Hive would forever exist within the world's creases. Our focus should be on finding its heart. The Hive is some form of machinery at its core. It's the reason why EMPs kill it instantly. He remained composed, but the unwelcome theory worried Alex. When they returned to the facility, they found Takeo had bound Nero to a chair within the technology-fueled wing. His wrists and legs were bound by sharpened silver wire, causing drops of blood to fall to the surface below, and his mouth was blocked by fabric. David fiddled with the screen of the map that showed the image of the island, while Takeo tightened Nero's restraints. "What are you doing?" Takeo asked David. This computer will have a wealth of information. We have that right here, Takeo said while tapping Nero. We're going to talk. If you scream when we let you, I will kill. Alex stopped speaking. He realized intimidation would not work. Nero stared at him with burning hatred. He was a man of the Hive, unafraid of death. Alex ripped the fabric from Nero's mouth. I was right about you collectives being scum. You steal my first home, then my second. But I've been here longer. Long enough to see fake loyalists. I always knew. Then why not say anything? I did. It didn't listen. It said you were interesting. Where's the Hive now? Takeo demanded. The room went black. A second later, light was restored. David had gained access to the Hive's computer, and the screens within altered from showing just the island to various parts of the world where the Hive existed. Its clusters shone through blinking green dots. Everywhere. The bird's-eye view of Zone 6 was the only map prominent in multiple screens. The outdated image showed a bustling society with an unending stream of cars, rushed people, and intact infrastructure. A city that breathed with the old world spirit. The life Alex wished he could have. The people of the old world were arrogant, but within it they were happy in their frivolous pursuits. Overtaking the image was a cluttering of emerald circles, making Patton's escape a small miracle. A realization clicked within Alex. The hub's fall did not affect the bodies closest to it. Instead, they hit remote locale. The collective's mission had done nothing. Even if they did manage to destroy the hub, it would not have ended the Hive completely. Where's its heart? Alex asked. Where it all started, Nero spat. Details, Takeo demanded. Kill me already. Why? Once the Hive sees me like this, he won't give me what I want. Alex did not want Nero to die. He knew his story. He was a soldier no different from him, just born into a different path. We won't be seeing you for a long time, Takeo said. Without prompting, he plunged Nero's skull. A hellish scream came from his mouth before death. Why do you always do that? The brutality of Nero's end made his face unrecognizable, but his body remained tied to the chair. He won't tell us. We have to find somebody who will. He said David said. The Hive's male. There's more that we need to discover. David led Alex and Takeo to the undiscovered leg of the facility, which was revealed to be a multi-purpose lab. The front was harbored by weapons, some of which were unknown to Alex's eyes. The second half was a hub for research. Vials filled with colored liquids were scattered across lab tables and paper pads containing complex details of the Hive's physiology. At the far end of the room was a control panel. Instead of leaving, we can have people come to us, David said, pointing to a communication system. Extending from the board filled with colored buttons was a pair of muffs attached to the board and a flat green screen that displayed coordinates. A radio, Alex realized. Alex almost set the coordinates toward Zone 6, then reminded himself what it was. He set it for the Libertarians. No answer came when he called, but Alex allowed his words to flow. It's Alex. We have taken the island. It could be a potential new home. Alex left to meet his followers when two men in jetpacks streamed towards them. They moved in sync. It was the Hive. The Loyalists immediately threw down their weapons and raced to the incoming perceived saviors. The Loyalist forces gathered on the beach quickly around the fresh Hive. Who led you? The Hive demanded calmly. It was Alex, the Loyalist echoed. Within seconds, Alex was surrounded by the Hive. As it closed in, Takeo and David placed their backs to one another in a circle of protection. Go, Alex ushered. No, we protect you, Takeo said. Now, Alex commanded under his breath. They complied. As the Hive walked towards him, he inhaled, ready for death. You rebelled against me. I won't kill you. I will speak to you.